time. It's dinner, Valentine's dinner time. I had breakfast this morning, and I had lunch, and now I'm having dinner. So
you are one busy lady. One busy lady sharing the love, man.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome. Happy VD to everybody. Thank you. I'm here with my friend Kate. And we have beautiful Juno from the Junosphere here today with all her beautiful flowers and her mandala. Yes, absolutely. And we're thrilled to have her here with us. She's going to talk with us about dreams tonight. And hello to everybody in the chat. Thank you all for being here and sharing part of your Valentine's Day with us. Some of you have shared 3 Valentine's things with me, and I appreciate it. So
yeah.
Thank you so much. There you go. So butterfly kisses. Thank you. You're always wonderful, and you're a great moderator. And Craig Dixon as well. Hi, Marsha Baldwin. And Kristen Louise. And hi, Jenny Starfish. Stacy Richardson. I'm glad you're all here. Thanks for being here.
Yes.
So the ladies have their flowers. So let's hear all about it, ladies.
About our flowers?
Absolutely.
About our Valentine flowers?
About your Valentine's.
Yeah. So John took off to go take care of something and walked in with this beautiful little arrangement. It was so generous and unexpected, and it really is charming. It's a little charming one, right?
It's so cute.
It's so cute, and it's a red vase, which is, I absolutely love red glass. So
there you go.
And I decided to flip my desk around because it's Valentine's. So behind me are 2 big patchwork hearts. Like the one that's going up around my head is about 4 feet tall. I can't get in the camera, but that's the little one too. And it says, "Always kiss me goodnight." On a little part of it, it's like stamped into it. It's so much fun. I love Valentine's Day. It's my favorite day.
It's a lot of fun. It really is.
It's so much fun to just absolutely celebrate love.
Definitely.
So, absolutely.
Definitely. And Juno got a surprise for her Valentine's Day from a friend.
Yep.
Yeah, Juno? I haven't had flowers sent to me in decades, literally. And everybody probably knows that my friend Tilly was moving here, and her brother helped her move here, and then he went back to Indiana. Well, she and I went to the grocery store this morning and we were talking, and she says, "Oh, he calls me up and he wants to know, like, which way is east from your trailer, and is Nita south, is Nita," she was like, "I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What was going on?" And then I laid down and took a nap today, and I hear the dogs start barking and somebody's pounding on my door, and I go outside and there's somebody with flowers for me, and Ben had sent flowers to me and to Tilly. So that was why he was asking the orientation of the trailer. But she was trying to go like, he did real estate. It had to do with that. It was so funny. So then I saw that they were going to take flowers over to her. So I texted her and I said, "So that's what Ben was up to." And she goes, "How'd you know the flowers were from Ben?" And then I showed her the card. She didn't know I got flowers from him too. So it's very special for me. I wanted to share with everybody today. So
yeah, I'm glad you did. Mine are in the other room, but mine are purples and pinks from my daughter Katie, who had them delivered right in the middle of my show with Jean. So I hear someone knocking at the door. I'm like, no one ever knocks on my door. And I was nicely surprised by them on the that my daughter got them for me. So hi Andrea, and hi Kim. Hello Donna. Hello Earth Angel. And Tarot Stash. Hi Gerald. It's good to see you. Gerald and I are going to be doing some card throwing this week. Earth Angel, Karen Johnson, and hi Diana. Kim, I love this, Kim. You buy yourself flowers weekly. Good for you.
Very nice.
If we don't love ourselves, then who's going to love us? We have to do that for ourselves.
Yeah.
And Earth Angel was outside dancing like no one was watching and loved what I did. And some joined in. I was offered a bunch of money. Someone wanted to support me.
That's awesome. Love that.
That's wonderful.
That's so cute.
It is. It's wonderful.
I love that. They acted like they owned her, she said. I walked away because I wanted to let it all sink in, and I wanted to get my dog set up. Okay. Oh, good, Stacy. Good girl.
Yep.
Oh, it was a dream. I was going to say, really? You got people setting you up and your dog and this and that? And it was a dream. Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Wonderful.
Hi, Lauren. Oh, so what was that dream? What does that dream mean, Katie? Dancing like no one was watching.
Yeah. That life is good. That life is sweet. And that unexpected things can come from strangers. Unexpected gifts can come from strangers, and to reach out and include rather than exclude, I would say. Acting like they owned you, though.
Yeah, maybe it was like, we want you in our group or whatever, but yeah, you don't want to be pressured by somebody. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Well, and even having that awareness that energy existed within the group is also a really intuitive take.
Yeah.
Right? So
that's right. That's right. It is funny. I just I'm thinking to myself, what is the most abandoned that we can have? And part of it would be, for me, it would be dancing in the rain outside, not worrying about what anybody was thinking about me. And yeah, I don't need anybody watching me or signing me, let's say, but I would love to be able to just do that. I feel free enough that I would do that. I'd be a real weirdo. But I don't know that I would have been that way earlier, but I definitely would be that way now. It was a good dream. She jumped up and wrote it down.
Awesome.
Good.
Awesome.
I think it was an excellent dream.
I think so too. Wonderful.
Wow.
Wonderful. When I used to work at the Hilton, they always played this amazing music overhead, right? And I thought, you know what? On my last day, I am going to waltz through these aisles. I'm going to find somebody to just dance through these, all the way around the hotel, because the music always made me feel like we should be dancing. That polka or waltz or, whatever. It was just so inspiring. It was so beautiful. And it was a beautiful hotel. So it kind of felt that elegance,
Yeah. My husband and I used to dance up and down the aisles at Walmart when we first got together. And we didn't really care what anybody thought. Not that I like Walmart, but, at that point we were living pretty frugally. And we would just dance and, and people would look at us and we'd smile and wave at them.
Oh, it's so good, right?
It
makes other people smile. You get engaged. You feel
Absolutely.
that energy of spontaneous creativity. It's so good. It's so good.
It is. So Kim C says she has recurring dreams that she's on a large yacht, more like a cruise ship. I'm hoping it means my dreams are coming true and my ship is coming in. That makes sense to me, Kim.
It does too. Yeah, me too. What do you think, Juno?
Yeah, I think she's spot on with that. She wasn't seasick on the yacht, so it's a good thing, right?
That's right. You never think you will be, but I bought those bands, those bands that you can not get seasick. And I'm so glad I did, because it didn't take me too long not to feel very good, but it helped a great deal when I was out there. So, oh my goodness, everybody's got dreams. Kristen's Louise says she was at a meeting about Black history. Mom and I were the only white folks there. A speaker, a Black historical figure, gave you a coin. I dropped it through a grate and was so upset. She said she has no clue what it means. My first feeling is you were getting a taste of what it's like to be on the other side of the race barrier. Because if you two were the only white people that were there, usually it's, if you go to a meeting and there's a couple of African Americans, they kind of stick out like a sore thumb with a bunch of white people. But I'm getting that you were the ones that stuck out like a sore thumb, so to speak. But a Black historical gave you a coin. It's almost like they're giving you a tip. I don't know, ladies, what do you think?
I kind of get like because she couldn't keep the coin, it was like, unless you've lived and walked in those shoes, you don't really know what that experience is. Like you held
Right.
that coin just for a moment, like you know, you had that input, that feeling for a moment, but you didn't own it because you didn't live it.
Right. I'm thinking that word great. She dropped it down to great. And I'm feeling great and grateful. Great. I'm just feeling a different type of great, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you, Juno. I feel like that's like them, you know, being the only white people in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
You are the person that sort of sticks out because you don't look like the rest of them. And there is no way you would know what it would be like because you haven't lived it unless it was a past life dream. I don't know. That might be very different as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that great made me think of bars, like being, you know, being isolated, being on the other side of it, that you can't access freedom.
Right. That's true. Yep. I'm sure they had those on the slave ships.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kate, what's going in between those ears?
I immediately thought when I read the Black History meeting,
Yeah.
was that in a past life, perhaps Kristen was a Black person, and that the figure that came up to her knew her, that she may have known him, whoever this historical figure. She says that that it was a speaker, a Black historical figure, that in giving the coin, it was a way to say, remember the link. Okay. Remember the link. And then dropping it was also, she does remember the link. She doesn't need the coin to remember what the link is. Okay. From that lifetime, from that experience. And that being upset about it was a way of knowing that the moment has passed and that she needs to move forward through this lifetime, that it's okay. And that lifetime gave her a wealth of experience that she carries with her, that she doesn't need the coin to access.
She's got the memory, right,
to access that. Interesting that she was there with her mom. So I'm wondering too if mom had the same dream. Is mom here? Is mom not here? I mean,
let us know, Kristen.
Yeah.
The other thing I thought of was, with so many divisive, they're trying to get, it's Black History Month, but we're not really, we're in all parts of the country, we're being oppressed. Black history is being oppressed. They won't allow the African-American AP studies in Florida, and in other places they've taken out slavery and Martin Luther King right out of the textbooks.
Right.
And so I got the feeling that you and mom were there to say, we're with you. We are here with you, because everybody is equal. No matter what I look like or you look like. Yeah.
Kristen says that her mom is alive. If you were to share this dream with your mom, Kristen, what do you think she would say? Because she was a participant. So that link is also really important. It could be that you guys were together in that lifetime.
Yeah.
Or it could mean that maybe this is a conversation that you want to open up the door to with your mom. Is there something about it that you might want to call her up and say, hey, I had the weirdest dream and you were there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Wow.
Thank you for sharing it with us.
Yes, thank you for sharing it. Yes. And Juno's got some she's going to do too, but I'm just going to try to answer some of these questions first. Christine, I lucked upon some things last night that blew my mind. The first thing is that in a year, we all usually dream about 1,640 times. I mean, I'm not here counting it, but that's what it said. The average dreams that you have in a year are about that many. And it said that you dream about every 90 minutes. And the dreams that you remember the most and the dreams that are the longest are the ones in the morning, between 30 and 45 minutes. And I thought to myself, yes, I really resonated with all of that. Not necessarily that I had that many dreams a year, but the fact that it seems like we have a tape going all night. Sometimes you wake up kind of tired, but I always can remember the ones in the morning, of course, because you're about ready to get up. And they seem to be the most vivid as well. So,
right.
So yeah, I think you're dreaming, Christine, but I don't think you're remembering. And there are a lot of people that can't remember unless you sort of plan it. And a lot of people have put on a timer or put a water by their bed and drank a lot of water before they went to bed. And then they wake up about 2 or 3 in the morning and they write down what they remember. But, you know, if you have to get up and go to work at 6 o'clock, that's not going to work out really well for anybody.
It might be a problem.
Might be a problem. Yeah.
I've been found something really helpful. I got this deck called the Galactic Heritage cards, and they're kind of, you know, outer space kind of things. And they talk about the whale energy. And I've been utilizing this because the whales help us get access to dream time. So I invite in whale energy, like I meditate on that before I go to sleep. And my dreams have been phenomenal. And I've been able to remember a lot of them, and they've been very detailed. Ooh. So that might be something to try. You know, focus on that, you know, turn off your TV and everything else and bring in the whale energy before you go to sleep, and put the intent out there and ask to remember.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
It really does work. It takes a little while. It might not happen the first night or two that you do it, but if you keep at it, you will get results.
Definitely will. Yeah, definitely will. I agree with you, Juno. She says the only Kristen, back to Kristen, she said the only flash of a past life she has is of Black people. Okay. So it's very possible that you probably were a slave, or you were, involved with the Black population.
Right. And, you know, all of the media coverage right now and all the special programs may just be triggering that whole memory. You know, it's probably not your only past life. You know, you probably had tons. But I love that your mother had a dream. When you talked it over with your mom, she mentioned that she had a dream that you dropped the coin. So there's very definitely confirmation that the two of you connect in a different realm at a different time. It's probably through your dream state. And the confirmation that it was a message to you, with her saying yes and validating that, is a really sweet part of understanding what all these dreams are about. Really interesting.
It's true. It is. So Donna had a dream a gentleman handed you a rose. Was it the Bachelorette that you were on? said, I choose you. I remember going through this house that had to be cleaned up. Oh. You know, houses represent our bodies and our, you know, like the attic is our mind and the basement is our bowels. And then there's the kitchen where you eat, and there's the living room and the sleeping room, and all those things, they have meaning. Having a body or a house that needs to be cleaned up is clutter that we have, or clutter we need to maybe of our own bodies. But handing you a rose, wow.
You're welcome, Kristen. The thing that I love about the way that Donna has expressed this is that she describes a gentleman.
That's true.
You know, a person of character, someone with integrity, someone that opens the doors, someone that, you know, ladies first, gentleman, those qualities that come around the word gentleman. So to me, that was a really sweet way of honoring the best parts of us, the best parts within us, and saying, he handed me a rose. You know, a rose is a really high psychic symbol. It is the ultimate. It is the rose. The rose is the pure love.
Pure love,
spiritual,
romantic love.
Spiritual as well. Spiritual love. And said that I choose you. Belonging is really important. It's really important to have validation that you're worthy. of belonging, that you are worthy and that you're exceptional, and that it's exceptional to be receiving this from this gentleman. I think it's absolutely lovely. Perfect for
It is a lovely dream.
Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah.
Going to the house that had to be cleaned. And yes, we do have to make room for what's coming. So in the event that you're feeling like information's coming in, you're getting feelings of downloading or messages that are coming in, we all need to clear the old that doesn't serve, push it away, get it out, get it over with, and allow that space to be used for something new that's coming in. So
to allow room for it as well.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for sharing, Donna. What do you think, Juno?
I concur with what you guys have said, and I think about, and then bringing in a rose, it's like how a rose smells so sweet, and just your house, it can be, I'm very sensitive to smells, and so I think of it that way, that just the beauty of the rose and the smelling of the rose,
Yeah.
Or maybe he just wants his house clean.
I always love those too, I mean, sometimes we have to laugh. But the other part of it, Donna, that I just happened to think of is that there are two sides to us. There's a male and a female, the anima and the animus, and we all have those qualities within us. And if your masculine side says to your feminine side, I choose you, then that means you're happy with the way your life is. And, from both sides of it. And all you really need to do is clean up some of the areas so you can make room for the rest of the good to come your way. They say you can't, when you have to clean out a closet in order to, before you buy a bunch of new clothes, because they're not going to fit. You're just going to cram them all in there and you won't even know what you have. So that's kind of the feeling I got too. So
great. You're so welcome, Donna. Thank you for sharing it.
Yes, thank you. It's right. Rose Hogan, this refers back to Kristen's coin, I think. The coin could be worth upset because the coin is dropped, because color should not be what we are all worth. The coin was meant to be. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So it was it was taking itself away, you're saying, Rose, from the color, because coins are used by everybody. And so by dropping the coin down the grate, I mean, I have an idea what you're trying to say here, but you're absolutely right. Color is not what we are all worth. Absolutely. It's what's inside of us. We're all the same color inside. But coins are universal. They're used by everybody. Doesn't matter what color or what sex or what nationality or anything you are. They're there for us to barter and use for energy. So coins are energy as well. Might be something to think about too, that the energy's sort of gone down the drain.
I was thinking about also, how you hear or you watch these ghost hunters or something, and all of a sudden a coin drops. I wonder if when she dropped that, if it appeared somewhere else.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because people are always finding coins in strange places. Yeah.
That if she was in spirit somewhere and dropped that coin, and it landed somewhere that someone else on the planet found it and went, and it meant something to them. Like when Tilly moved here, she came from Indiana, and she had an elderly cat that died about a month before she came here. And, it was really emotional. And so then she finally went to clean out the litter box. And in that litter box, she found a brand new, shiny Arizona quarter.
Oh, wow. Talk about synchronicity, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So she has no idea how that quarter could have got there. And it was Arizona, and she moved to Arizona,
That's right. It could have been any state of the union. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Very interesting.
That actually happened this morning to Nancy Jean when I was on Kelly's show. Nancy Jean looked in a compartment in her purse for something, and she found a stone in there, and the stone was wrapped in something that it wasn't the store she was in. She didn't know where she got the stone from. And so I think sometimes these things happen. These gifts happen to us, and we just have no way of explaining it. It can happen. Willow, okay, so you say we're not all the same color inside spiritually. I do agree with that spiritually, because there are some people that don't have any color, let's say. They don't have any belief system. But I kind of put it that they're just not ready for it yet. They haven't reached that higher level yet, that they are able to shine their light. And we can't make somebody, be any higher on the ladder or the rung than they already are.
So, Aley, talking about finding coins or stones, this one popped out. Can you read it?
It says dream.
And I have no idea where it came from. It just fell out of something I was cleaning up.
So now we're manifesting things in real time.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of I think it was Padre Pio, but I'm not sure. He was a man that was in India, and he would manifest gold leafing, would come out of his eyes and come out of his nose. And it was real gold. It was real gold, but there was no explanation for it. And it's more of a modern thing. It happened like in the 80s, in the 90s.
I never heard of that.
It's pretty interesting. Yep. All right. So Kristen said, recently thinking about my ancestors who owned slaves. Several months ago, a black cousin found me in both descended. Well, that's very interesting.
Wow.
Yes, you may be related. Maybe that's what it is. You've got the ancestry of that, Kristen. Wow. That's really cool.
It's interesting.
It is. Well, I want to offer you the opportunity, Juno, to tell us about some of the dreams that you've been having, so we can learn from what you have to say today. And I'm really excited that you are bringing them to this show. So I'm going to sort of give you the floor. And Kate, if you want to, talk with her about it or whatever, I'll let you do that.
Well, thanks for inviting me. Thanks to Aley and Kate. I really appreciate being invited and being included, and it means a lot to me.
Sure.
I have a really funny dream. I woke up laughing from this dream, so I thought I've been waiting for an opportunity to share it, and it's too much to put in the chat, so this is fun.
Okay.
I got connected with Danny Shea a number of years ago when, in 2020 when all this started, and then, he's been a real mentor to me, and just really, I look up to him a lot. And whenever I have a dream about him, he's always in the role of shaman or teacher or mentor. He's never, a sibling or a mate or anything like that. He's always in this teaching mode. And so I had this dream. I don't know if you remember the movie Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey and Morgan Freeman, and Morgan Freeman is God. And they're in that building that's all white, and there's no people in it. There's no furniture. It's just this white office building with the glass windows. And so I was in that kind of a building, but I was with this giant angel being. And we were going, it was really cool. And it was, we were going up and down the hallways and opening up doors, and we were looking for Danny. And we would open a door and he wasn't in there, so we closed the door. I don't remember that there was anything in those doors, but it was just he wasn't there. And then we were on a stairway, and it was the first time I had seen any other people there. And, people were walking up and down the stairs, and this guy had come up from behind me and walked in front of me. And as he passed me, he goes, "Ooh, nice view." And I'm thinking, wow, it's been a long time since anybody said that to me. Got a little more junk in my truck. I got enough for two now, So I was thinking, I was like, this is a good dream, this is kind of nice. So then we continued on, me and this angel, and we're back looking up, opening doors and closing the doors. And finally we opened the door, and there's Danny, and it was like in an art room, like in a college. And there was people there, but they were just kind of milling around, and he's sitting on the floor, and he's making a big mandala on the floor with different natural things, stones and twigs and whatever. And he looks up at us and he goes, "Oh, I've been waiting for you guys. Come on, I want to show you something." And so he gets up and he walks ahead of me, and the angel goes ahead of me. And then as I'm walking towards the door, I feel this breeze, and I realize I split my pants. And that was why the guy behind me went, "Oh, nice view."
I was waiting for you to start singing "Shake Your Booty."
Well, we don't want any earthquakes going on, you know?
No, I know.
Oh my God, it made me cry. I laughed right out loud in the dream and I woke up. I was crying. I was laughing so hard. I thought, well, I'm sure glad those people went ahead of me and weren't behind me. Oh my
Air
God.
conditioned pants.
Yeah,
Yes.
air-conditioned pants. But yeah, that was one of the funniest dreams I can remember ever having, and that was
Oh
it was a
yeah.
good one. Whenever I'm
It
feeling kind of whatever, I remember that dream and it always cheers me up. Like, don't take yourself too seriously. You might have a hole in your pants.
It's happened to me where I've gotten back from somewhere and I had a hole in my pants, but I had underwear on, thank God, because it could have been real disastrous. Yeah.
I worked at an ad agency and it was in a small building. It was back in New York State, and actually Vanna White was one of our clients before she got really famous. But anyway,
Okay.
but the artists, this was before computers and stuff, and they had their drafting tables and stuff, and the bathroom was in between where I worked and where they worked. And I had on one of these really ruffly skirts, back in the 80s, and you got your pantyhose on, and I came out of the bathroom and I didn't realize it, but I had tucked in the back. It looked like curtains, with the ruffles.
Yes.
It's like on the top of my pantyhose.
Right.
Oh my God, I was glad they didn't have computers and cell phones back then, because
Oh my gosh.
it
was like the orange man with the toilet paper stuck to his shoe when he's going. That was perfect.
Onto the plane. And of course, no one said anything. Yeah.
Oh no.
No. It was a photo op. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is such a cute dream. I think we've all had experiences where it's life's most embarrassing moments, right? Just crazy stuff where you do wake up laughing, and I'm always so grateful for those, because sometimes life is tough and we need to be able to laugh.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And laugh at ourselves, just
We're just it just happens, and if you can't laugh, it's it's embarrassing, but it's just what it is. When my kids were kids, everything I did was embarrassing to them, which every parent goes through. But now they're just as embarrassed. They just do embarrassing things now as a matter of course. And so it's really nice to have other people that, go along with my antics.
I have a couple of questions for you, Juno, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay. So, how long do you think it's been that you've been having such vivid dreams with such detail? How long do you think that's been going on? Is there a start point?
They kind of come and go, but they've gotten really intense in the last couple years, but really intense in the last 2 months. Like, I've shared some of them with you and the details that's in them, and it's
right. So do you have a practice of writing them down when you first wake up?
I usually do. Yeah, I'll come and, if I don't write them down on paper, sometimes I'll email them. I'll write them down in an email and even email it to myself, because I type a lot faster than I can write.
Right.
But and I've been having really like prophetic dreams. Like within the last couple of weeks, I had a dream one night that I'm from Western New York near Buffalo, and I had a dream that there was this raging fire coming through like a wildfire, but then the ground was like, it was red and it was moving like in a mudslide, but it was all on fire. And it was the night before they had that earthquake in Buffalo. So I always wonder about, the natural disaster part of it. And I've had other prophetic dreams like that, and it's not something I want to do. You know what I mean? I don't want to dream about disasters, but then when they happen.
Right. It's a difficult thing when you do have prophetic dreams, because what can you do with the information? The information isn't about being able to say to someone, okay, you need to leave your house right now. So it's a really difficult thing. I think that asking guides and angels to limit that or to set that up as a boundary within your spiritual self, you can do it, but if it's a gift that you're given, you also have to wonder about turning off a gift. So whether or not to just accept that that's going to be something that will happen for you. And then understand that seeing part someday may come to a place where you can pick up the phone or send out a message or interact with the upcoming event in some way. Okay, so the other question that I have is, do you think your dream experience is supported by angels and guides?
Definitely.
And how do you know that? And can you explain it to everyone how you know that's a real thing?
Well, can I share another dream with you? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I don't want to take up the whole time here.
Well, you're our guest, and you're supposed to do that.
A lot of people have questions. I don't want to.
It's all right, Juno.
So this happened during the day, because a lot of times I have to take a nap during the day because I have things, I have reasons, health reasons.
Yeah.
So, and when I know there's something coming up, or my eyes get really tired, I'm having some vision issues, so I'll just lay down. And it was the day when Dr. Gail was going to be on with the guest, and I laid down in the morning to, so that I would be awake to watch her show. And while I was asleep, I dreamed that I was it was in a 1-story wood building, and it was somewhere in Arizona. And there was somebody, because I'm losing my vision in my left eye, and it's really, macular degeneration. So I do all this detail work. So it's been really frustrating.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've been having a lot of, thank you. I've had the condition since I was in my 20s, but it's starting to become, and my vision, like one eye is 2400 and one is 2800. So it's hard to work together anyway. And now I've got this other issue. So anyway, and if anybody wants to send me healing, I will gladly accept that.
We will send it, honey. Absolutely.
Really, because it's hard for me to make my videos. It's hard for me to do everything. So anyway, I laid down, I was getting some rest, and I dreamed I was in this place, and there was this older man who was working on the back of my neck and my shoulders with essential oils and some kind of an implement or tool that I couldn't see, but I could feel him. And he worked on it for quite a while. And while he was doing this, he was either telling me, or I was getting it telepathically, he was describing the histories of these different ancient civilizations. And it was like I was above them, like bird's eye view, and looking down and seeing these whole villages and towns and cities and whatever, these different cultures. So I was getting this download. And then after he finished, I got up, and I was fully clothed. It wasn't like a full body massage or anything. He was working specifically on the back of my head and my neck. And, and I thanked him. And then I walked out, and there were men and women, beings. I can't say, I don't know if they were human or not, but they were standing in the hallway, and they were having like an informal celebration for me, that I had come, like they had accepted me, and that I had agreed to work with them. And it was like this, this whole thing was going on. And then when I looked down in my hand in my dream, there was a key ring, and there were several silver keys, and there was one key that was blue, purple, metallic, a real flat key. It was 3 times the size of the other ones, and it was cut totally differently, but it was a key. It was totally different from that. And so that was like, well, what's that about? And then when I woke up and watched Dr. Gail, she had Preston Dennett on there as a guest, and he was the person who was working on me. I recognized him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was the guy working on me. And he was a third older in the dream, but it was him. And so then she contacted him and asked him if he ever did healing work. And he goes, not really, but I've been told by other people that I do that in my, he comes to them in their dreams and does healing work on them. Wow. So then fast forward, and this isn't really in a dream, but it was in working with Terry Suzuki. And she had a guided meditation journey, because she's practicing up to, do this for a group of people this weekend, right? And so she had us go on a journey where we went into the ocean, and then we got together with a whale, and that because the whales are from Sirius B, and we ended up on Sirius B, and I could see all these, like I was seeing what she was describing before she even said it. Like, scenery. I won't go into all the details of that, but at the end of this whole journey thing, there's a whole thing about a gift exchange, that when you're there, they give you a gift and then you can offer a gift back. Right. So there were little boxes for each of us, and when I opened my box up, there was a key, and it was kind of crystalline looking, and the way it worked was it vibrated. That was how it opened whatever it opened. So that was then I said, well, I want to give you a gift, and what they wanted was my left thumbprint. Because it's like a maze, and they said that my left thumb is going to open a portal somewhere.
That reminds me of the show that was just on, where they had it underneath the guy's head, and it looked like a thumbprint. God, why can't I remember it? It was they were robots. They were robots, and it was on for a while on like FX or on HBO, and they were in a Western town, and they found all these vortexes that they could go through to get to different places. My feeling when I'm listening to you is that while your outer vision is not working very well, your inner vision is just exploding, and the key to what you need to do is inner work.
Yeah,
okay, and you look like you agree.
And I asked them, I said, what am I going to do without a left thumbprint? And they said, well, you just replace it with the key. That my thumb is now the key. There you go. So then on Sunday, Medium Kim was on, and she had JJ with Tuta Speaks on there, and I've just become aware of Tuta. And when I hear her, I burst into tears. It is so. She speaks right to my heart, and it's like I understand what she's saying, even though I don't know the words, but I can't even put it into words. And so I had asked, how you go in the chat, and then asked if I could receive a light language blessing. And Tuta JJ picks up a piece of blue kyanite that was long and, similar to a key looking. And then she starts talking about keys.
Oh my.
So within 10 days, I've got all these key messages.
All those downloads.
And it's about, and the other thing that happened with, the night after, I had the first dream with the blue key, and then talked to Dr. Gail, and she said, she validated that I'm there to work with the ETs, and she said, you just have to speak it if that's what you want to do. And so I did, I said it out loud in front of everybody, instead of just doing cards or like what mentally or whatever, like I had been. So that night I had shared this with Danny, and he goes, well, the key is fine, but what you got to figure out is, what does it open? I want to know what it opens, right? So he's always pushing me. He's got that pointy-toed cowboy boot that he plants on my backside, like, come on now, figure this out, get past it. So that night I dreamed that I figured out where these beings were working. It was in the office, and I had the key to the office door. And so I got there like a half hour before they opened. I let myself in, and then they showed up, and they were surprised to see me, but not shocked, like, oh, okay. And then they accepted me, and then they told me that my job was to go around and because everybody there, like donuts, and my thing was to go around and look at their lips and see if they'd been eating donuts. I could detect by the sugar on their lips.
Oh my.
And then they were touching my teeth because I have dentures, and they were very curious, like, what are those? So I just thought that was a whole weird series of.
It is, and Willow says she agrees that you're opening the door to a new world using the key to your future. I love that, Willow. And I was talking about Westworld. Thank you, Diana. That's what I was looking at.
And I've had 2 sessions, one with Dr. Gale and one with John Binney, where they went in to help heal my eye, and they described the same thing of it having a black thready like entity attached to it, and they brought in Archangel Michael and some other angels and cleared it off, and it was like a big deal. And then Dr. Gale went in, and she had like a shower squeegee, and she cleaned off my third eye. And John also worked on my third eye. So I'm, there's a lot going on in this.
You've got an awful lot going on, and It seems good to me.
Yeah, I'm
It
not
seems
scared of it. Yeah.
no, good.
Yeah.
There was something else that Willow said that she wanted you to know. Okay, she said she'd been praying for you, Juno, but your guides tell me you are advancing spiritually very rapidly, and it has been your choice to learn rapidly. So
thank you for that. I appreciate that, Willow.
yeah,
And I live alone, so this is my whole world. Is the
sure,
the
of course,
spiritual
of
stuff.
course.
So
Yeah.
I appreciate that feedback. It means a lot. And thanks for everybody who sends me good energy.
Oh, of course, dear. I just love it. I probably would want to sit and listen to more of these stories because it gives me hope, Yeah.
When Tuta said that, like my jaw hit the floor. I mean, I was
Yeah.
just, and I almost threw up. You know what I mean? When you're like so shocked, and so then I started shaking, and so I emailed Dr. Gale right after that. I said, I'm shaking all over. She goes, well, you should be shaking. She said, you're on this fast track of,
You
all these
are.
good things
You are.
coming, but it's just interesting that I'm getting validation of stuff that's happening in dreams and journeys and stuff. So
yeah, definitely. Wow.
Yeah.
That's very powerful, don't you think, Kate?
I do. I do. And I love the courage that goes through Juno's voice that says, this is happening and I'm accepting of it. And I'm reaching out for confirmation in sources that she trusts.
Yeah.
And it's a really interesting, powerful spiritual journey that we're on. And so when some of this stuff comes in and becomes real and there can be a little wobbly of, wait a minute, what is this? To know that there are people, loving people that can share and can validate and confirm.
Sure.
So
we all need a net sometimes, especially if you live alone, Juno. You need that net.
And I could never do this. I could never have the confidence and the courage to face all this that I'm going through without this community to bounce this off from, or to witness it, or give me feedback. And the first thing I always do is ask for protection, and I always ask to only work with the highest vibrational beings, no pranksters, nothing. And even in the journey when Terry had us and we were underwater, and we were seeing different creatures, and for a minute, when you see like the shark with the mouth open and the teeth are just coming right at you, like that came at me for just a split second, and I heard, no, just blink your eyes and it goes away.
Good girl. There's your lucid dream, or your lucid. Yep. Wow. All right, well, let's take a look at a couple other things that have been put in the chat. Thank you, Juno. That was amazing. That was just amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. I appreciate it, everybody.
Oh, God. We're happy that you came and told us. Yeah. And everybody else feels that way, too.
And there's so many people in the chat that are sending you healing energy. So, I'm sure that you know this, but always follow up with lots of water. I
was just drinking water when you said that.
You sound like you might be psychic, Kate.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I appreciate the feedback, everybody.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah. And to me, it's just such a beautiful message for you, especially with the eyesight issue that you're having. It's like, don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. You're going to get that. You have insight.
And I hope it's going to be healed, because I get to the end of the day where I can't even watch TV. My eyes just tears. It's not that I'm crying. They water so much. I can't do anything but lay down and close them. I can't read. I can't watch TV. Honey. I can't do my work. So it's like, look, I have work to do here. You guys got to help me. I mean, you, the spirit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Who will help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
But you also have to cut yourself a break. You always have to do that too. You have to love yourself. Buy yourself flowers. So Foxy Roxy says the only other dream she remembers is, I saw my eye floating in the air, but very large and bleeding. I kept saying, Dad, look at my eye, over and over, but he would not pay attention to me.
Wow.
2 months after my dream, he had a massive heart attack.
Wow.
All right. My first thought is that even if you knew he was not going to make it in the next 2 months, even if for some reason you had a premonition, that it was like a warning to you here. You've got your eye, he's not paying any attention. And so it isn't just to you, I don't think. I don't think he was paying any attention to his own health issues, it sounds like. But the eye floating and large and bleeding, are you sure it was an eye, or maybe it was a heart?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to wonder. But wow, look at my eye over and over.
I think of that. You know how they say, "Look me in the eye." My dad used to say that to me. Look me in the eye. Like, in other words, pay attention to me. And he wasn't.
Pay attention.
And she wasn't being able to connect with him. She couldn't stop what he was experiencing.
She couldn't stop what was going to happen to him.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think she would have, if she even knew what was going to happen, he might not have even believed her.
Right.
Because, especially a man, I'm so sorry, gentlemen, if you're in the audience here, but men don't tend to worry about their health. And there are some women that don't either, but men are really bad. Usually they don't want to.
And a lot of men, I went through this with my dad. He had several strokes and he was a very angry, he had a lot of frustration and whatever. And he didn't, men don't express themselves in a healthy manner as much as
a lot of times. Right. Yep. A lot of times. Kate, what do you think?
I think that the floating eye is a way of her understanding that she has a gift of seeing.
Could be like a third eye.
Yes, and that it's the fact that it's bleeding is an indication that, for me anyway, would be that there's lost energy, that the energy isn't complete in the seeing. That it's like a wake up call, like, pay attention. But it's not only pay attention, Dad, but it's pay attention within herself, to pay attention to what she's seeing from up there. Okay.
Sure.
So,
okay. It had a sty and with veins were full of blood. Okay.
So that's like eye strain. You know what I mean? Like pushing your vision so too far.
Right. Eye strain. Yeah. I'm not real sure that the two are connected.
Okay.
Her wanting to connect with Dad and Dad not paying the attention on a spiritual level, with that understanding that we are always connected.
This really changes it. This changes it, though. They were never close.
Right.
So maybe you did not feel heard, dear.
Right.
You just did not feel heard.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Froxy, for sharing that with us. Yeah. It must have been disturbing. It must have been disturbing to wake up and go, wait a minute, what was that?
Yeah. What was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also could be preparing her for what was coming, and that she does have the ability to use a third eye.
Yes.
For a third eye. Yeah.
In that gift. And I know Mary Thornbury was asking if we are taking dream questions, and yes, absolutely, Mary.
Sure.
Type it in the.
Sure, Mary, you can put it in, dear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, Willow says that Juno, mold allergies can cause problems like that also. You know, you might want to check that, because when I was living in the RV last year, and I was having my roof issue, I had a roof issue with my RV, and I was really sick, and I think it was molds. No, but you said you've had this for a long time.
And I'm so sensitive to mold. I know mold if it's a mile away. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to poo-poo what she's saying. I appreciate the input, but and I trust where I live. My landlord's really good about stuff. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. All right. So Willow says, Froxy, you are another very advanced spirit. And Froxy said it was one of the 2 dreams I even remembered. It stayed with you. This has happened to me when I used to write them down. And then I would go back and read them later. And I wasn't planning on reading dreams, but it was in with everything else. And I read the dream that I had written down. And honest to God, I remembered the rest of it like it was yesterday,
Right.
because I had put it down, and it was enough information that it reminded me of what was in that dream, which is really kind of cool, because you always think you have to be so specific. But earlier, Earth Mama said this, and I agree with her. She said, you got to be really careful when you're writing your dreams down at night. She said she stuck her hand with a pen when she was trying to put the lid on. we don't want to have any kind of issues with our hands. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. Let's see what else, if there was anything else here. Spirit beyond the stars says she has very clear dreams and they always come true, which is wow. And if you hadn't seen her brother in over 13 years, the first week of January, he was on her mind. I had to ask my son to look him up, and 3 weeks later, he passed away. That happens an awful lot.
Yeah,
it really does. I was thinking about somebody, and it wasn't much longer that they did either. And it's almost like it's in the air. It's in
the ethers. Yeah. Sorry for your loss.
I know. Karen said, I dreamed last night I was looking in the mirror, but my reflection was someone else. It was a woman about 20. Ooh. Well, I'd take that, Karen. I had that when I was really sick when I was a kid. I was in high school, and I had a really high fever, and I went into the bathroom to pee, and I got up to wash my hands, and I looked in the mirror. And there was a woman staring back at me, and I didn't know who the hell she was. And it scared me to death. And I remember crying out, Mom, and my mother ran up to the bathroom, and I said, what's going on? And she said, well, honey, you're very feverish. But I think probably it was a reflection of some other person that I must have been. But, you just didn't get that all the time. So. All right. Oh, Craig, you're the best. Yeah. Yep. Good for you. All right, so here's one from Sharon. I'm looking for Mary's if she has it listed here. Nope, Mary.
I think she was just asking.
Okay. So if you want to, Mary, though, please do, dear. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So there it is. She was typing it. Thank you, Mary.
There we go. Awesome.
Sharon had a dream about attending an education discussion panel. Well, you were an educator. I kept raising my hand after comments or opinions, but the panel kept ignoring me. The audience knew why. I had fallen asleep to a podcast. In reality, you fell asleep. Is that what it was, Sharon? Okay. I get this all the time, Sharon, in my work. I attend faculty meetings every Wednesday. And as a person who's only been part-time and never had to attend faculty meetings, I don't really know all the rules. I don't know what they've talked about in the past. I have no idea what's going on. And every time I say something, they're like, who's next? They don't ever reply to me. It's like I'm just a piece of shit. And finally, I've got to the point where now I just don't say anything anymore because I they know I'm there. But yeah, it is Juno. MK Karen. Yes. Yeah. It's great. So I'm just wondering if, I know you fell asleep to the podcast, but I'm just wondering if you don't feel heard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that what you ladies think too?
Well, and that someone else's opinion matters so much.
Right. Matters more than hers.
Right. The self-love, piece of, right. Okay. They don't want to hear then. Okay.
I'll go sleep.
But it's hard when there's something in your environment, in your job, and in your communication with others, that you do want to feel heard, that you do want to have someone acknowledge you. So I do think that it is a question or a reminder that you are more important than the question, and that how you respond to others is up to you, whether you allow them to, make you feel something that's not within your reality, that's not who you are, then let it go. Let that stuff go. Because for people that really care and people that are really sensitive, the people pleasing thing that happens to us can sometimes just be, you need to close the door on it, because you're important, you're loved, you have a voice. So maybe
and there's a community that wants to hear what it is. Yeah. You don't have to depend on this educational community anymore.
Right. Yeah.
You said the audience knew why, and the first thing I thought of was that because I come in on a Zoom meeting and the rest of them are in the building, because I don't go over to the meetings, that I can only imagine people in the back room snickering. Oh, she's so stupid, And I think we do that to ourselves. They probably aren't doing that, but it's an insecurity. It's definitely an insecurity. So. Wow. All right, so let's see. I'm trying to find Mary. Here we go. Mary has a couple of posts, so let me find them. She flies a lot. When I remember my dreams, a reader several months ago told me I should not do that. But I cannot control that. Is that true?
The question is that she should not try to remember her dreams?
No, I think she shouldn't try to fly. I'm guessing. Is that right, Mary? Well, I fly a lot. When I remember my dreams, a reader months ago said I should not do that. But I cannot control whether or not I fly, I'm getting. Is that right, Mary? Let us know. Yeah. It's okay. You can be a terrible typer. We'll get it. We'll get it, dear.
We get it figured out.
Yeah.
Not fly.
Lately, I've been coming back with a real jolt going back into my body. It hurts. What do I do? Okay. That's why they told you that. They don't want you to, because it is. That's an astral travel, right?
It's a crash landing. And sometimes people actually take a step in their dream, and that's also part of the lucid part. So there is a process of tethering, if for any other a way to link yourself, anchor yourself before you sleep, and that is to imagine a blue and gold line that is attached to your heart or to your third chakra before you drop off to sleep, Mary. So remind the angels before you close your eyes that your landing is uncomfortable, that you want them to gently end the message or end the dream so that you can wake up without the jolt. Okay. And the tethering is linking your spirit. So when you're asleep, your spirit leaves and goes into the dream realm or the angelic realm. And you can visually create an anchor that you would find, that you would come back through, so into your body. So that sudden jolting of a wake.
Jolting, sure.
Right. Yeah. You can work with that. And astral travel, as long as you are asking for protection, that your guides and angels are with you, can actually be a very freeing, can be a very relaxing and exciting part of participating.
Yes.
But you do always want, everyone needs to have a sense of protection and remembering to ask for it. Because if we don't ask for it, it's not given. So all of the angels are working on our behalf, but we have to give them instruction rather than them instructing us. So that protection piece, that coming into a safe landing for the wake up part, I know what you're talking about because I've had many, many, many of them. So, before you
they're beautiful. Don't give up on them just before you go to sleep. If you got me astral traveling out there, please be careful when I come back. Please protect me so I'm not not hurt in any way.
I don't want to do my George of the Jungle impression,
just to be on the safe side. And just a little side note, someday, Mary, I'm going to tell you about my dream about Eddie Izzard, but not tonight.
Okay. Wow. Wow, everybody. You've done this since you were a child, Mary.
Yeah.
Having many stories that don't fit in here in chat, but we'll ask for help with a better landing. Yeah, don't. Jenny said, "Don't let the reader the reader that you had was incorrect. Don't you if you're comfortable and you like doing it, then you can ask for protection. If you don't like it, if it's really bothering you, then you can also ask not to do it. But if you're enjoying it and you're getting something from it, then to me it's." Yeah.
Keep going with it. And you know what, Mary, you can always email us too. If you want to email us at the Dream Detectives, plural, the Dream Detectives, all one word, at gmail.com. Anytime you want to put in a longer version, we'd be happy to interpret it for you, and tell us whether you want it on air or don't want it aired. It's totally up to you. We can keep it very private. If there's something that's too long for the chat, and that's for anyone.
There you go. There's so many people in here saying that they love flying.
Oh yeah, it's the
I
best.
haven't flown for a long time. I think I need to take a trip.
Yeah, we should plan an astral, vacation. Where do you want to
go? Do you guys remember way back when they had PF Flyers sneakers?
Yeah.
And the kids, I always felt like if I got a pair, I could fly.
In my dreams, a lot of times I move around like I'm 6 inches off the ground. I'm standing up. I'm not flying like the flying nun or anything, but I can just move from place to place. So I stand up.
Oh, that's awesome, Juno.
And I have that a lot. Yeah. Like it seems so real,
It is real.
Yeah, it's really good.
Something else that I've done, like when we're like, okay, something's going to happen to us or we're in danger or whatever, and then we ask our angels to come in and to me, that's almost kind of rude. Like, well, I don't want you till I really need you. And so what I started to do is before I get out of bed in the morning, I spend time and I call in and I ask my angels, be with me all day today. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
It's a give and take thing. And I feel their presence much more. So it isn't just that, well, not until I have an emergency.
Right.
And it's amazing the difference that it makes and how much easier my life is in a lot of ways because I know they're with me.
That connection to angels is so powerful because there is nothing on this planet that has the loving commitment that your angels have already made and have been with you the entire time.
Loving
so, coming in and walking in these human vessels is hard, which is why we're given all this resource at our beck and call. All we have to do is ask. All we have to do, and they come and they do and they love. And so knowing that you've got this beautiful, beautiful relationship that you're kind of ignoring most of the time is like, wow, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, just say hello. And is this okay to mention the show with Valerie?
Of course you can.
Of course. So this upcoming Friday, Valerie from Illumination Portal and I are doing a show where if you give us permission, we will tell you what your angels' names are.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so anyone in the chat that wants to come and know, what do I call my angels? What are their names? I mean, let us introduce you to your guides and your angels because, they're outside of source. They are just such pure love for you, such support for you. And it's so cool to have that. Wake up in the morning and say, hey guys, what are you up to? What do you have for me today? What do I need to know for today? And know that that's going to come in throughout the day ahead of you. They're going to go ahead of you and open gates and open paths and open doors and windows and, drop in little pieces of creativity. It's wonderful. It's really wonderful.
It is.
Hi, Melanie.
Something else that I've noticed is like people who are new to this, all these things we talk about, they think that it's like this big dramatic thing, like the angels are going to come in and the trumpets are going to sound and that's how they're there. And it's like when you realize, like when I have a neighbor who bothers me, and so I'm always cautious when I let my dogs out or when they're going to come back in. And every time when I've let them in and then that truck goes by, I thank the angels because I know they told me the timing, like all these little things. So they give you these little messages all throughout the day, and then sometimes you get a great big one, you know.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
it's like to start paying attention to those little things, and that is the angels, you know, because
And
people
it's
think,
so
well,
much fun.
I'm not worthy because they didn't come in with the trumpets blaring and, you know,
You mean they didn't drop their harp on your head?
Exactly. Drive up in a brand new Lamborghini and give me the keys, you know. It's like it's the little things that they're doing
my gosh.
all day long. That
Oh
we
my
don't
gosh.
even acknowledge. And they're like, I keep doing this for you. I keep showing up and doing this. And so then they kind of go, well, you're not even paying attention. So maybe I won't be right there, you know?
You need to make them some burritos, honey, with some Spanish rice.
Oh, that's so cute.
That's so cute. Authority.
So, Melody, the show is Friday night. And I'm hosting it live with Valerie. So the Dream Detective channel, and 6:00 Pacific. So we're really excited. We're really excited about it. It is, it is such another world that all you have to do is say hello. And
suddenly, are you also going to be doing a meditation on your way out, or are you not doing that this week?
That's usually on the refresh series, but it's entirely a possibility. Would you like one?
No, I just wondered if it was the refresh that you were doing on Friday night or not. Okay.
Yeah. It is and it isn't and it is. I don't know. I'm so discombobulated sometimes in my own brain.
Valerie's happy. That's all that matters. So it's really exciting. So I have just one more thing that I'd like to pass along. Okay. And songs really come to me. And I'm in my car going to get coffee. Not today because we had snow. It was yesterday. And I didn't have my radio on, usually put it on, and I pushed the button, and it wasn't a song I wanted. So I pushed this other button, and it was the Music Box Dancer, which is what my brother Don, the older one.
Yes.
That was his song. And so I'm like, okay, you just let me know you're with all the guys. So it was so much fun.
That's
it really
so
was
wonderful. It's so cool. That is so cool, Aley.
I can imagine them on the other side when they see that you recognize that. They almost just high five each other like, yeah.
I say that all the time. The high five, the dancing, the cheering. And what's really exciting is when like our guides talk to each other and they're like, oh, goody, they're connecting today. And they're like buzzing. They're just buzzing with each other. Tell her this or tell her that, or and it is such a beautiful, wonderful experience to have that comforting knowing that they are there, knowing that they are watching, knowing that they are loving and trying to say, hey. Going up on Echo.
Wow.
I love that song, and it was just one of many that remind me of him, but it was just a period of time that I remember him saying how much he loved it. And it's just it's just a musical song, just instruments. But thanks so much. Thanks, T-Pop. That was great. And MK Karen. Wow. Everybody, you guys are all beautiful. Happy Valentine's Day to you. We love you so much. Juno, thank you for coming on, and thank you for sharing your fabulous dream. Both of them, actually. One was funny and one was just totally fabulous.
Yeah.
And Kate, of course, thank you, dear, for all you do. And you're an awesome detective. And you don't have it with you, but you need to have your little spy.
I know, it's in the other room.
Your husband bought it for you, so you could.
Ally's got the romper room mirror, and Kate's got the.
I do. I have it's really beautiful. It's my husband bought it for me. It's all diamond encrusted and really sweet. It's very, very sweet. Yeah.
Don't tell me that your husband never buys you diamonds.
Well, these ones are my summer diamonds. Some are and some aren't.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, everybody. Lots of love to you, and make it a good evening. Thank you.
Thanks, Aley.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Sweet dreams.